So let's see how that plays out, Brian. Let's talk about how to retire early, how to be part of the FIRE movement if your income is $100,000. And remember, these are our assumptions. We're going to work for 25 years. We're going to start making $100,000 a year. Our wage increase on average is going to be 3% per year over that working career. We're going to start our portfolio earning 8%, and then it's going to decrease each year until we're at 5.5%. And we're going to assume different savings rates, 25, 30, 35, and 40. And when we get to retirement, our goal is to replace some of our pre-retirement income. And we're going to assume because we are doing FIRE, we're going to have a 3% sustainable long-term withdrawal rate. So the question is that $100,000 of income at the beginning of our journey, does that allow us to hit FIRE?
Yeah, and that, by the way, this is a legit level of income.
It's a great income.
I think that a lot of people, when you get to six figures, you're like, man, this is kind of what I aspired to. This is what I went to college for. And then when you look at the actual results, realize we have 25% savings rate all the way up to 40%. Still, once again, it's on repeat. Not one of these scenarios cross the threshold of 60% of the income you were making before you walk through that FIRE threshold of retirement.
Now, some people are saying, oh, no, but you guys, you're not taking into account Social Security. You're not thinking about, remember, these are FIRE folks. Social Security is not something that happens until later in life. That's well into your 60s, if not 70 before that triggers. So this not quite hitting 60%, even for the most aggressive savers of these $100,000 incomes, it's still going to be a hard road to toe.
Yeah, it's one of those things. And don't forget, you also have to, anybody knows when you're in the FIRE movement, health insurance and other things will come into play. But to give the numbers to the podcast listeners, since they can't see the visual, if you're saving 25% of your income of the 100,000, you're going to be able to replace 33%. Saving 30% will replace 40%. Yep. Saving 35% gets you to 40% of your pre-retirement income, and then 40% savings rate will get you to 53%. So I think when you see this number, since nobody crossed 60%, let's talk about how do you actually still consider yourself a success in the FIRE movement, even with these results. And I think you have to just be prepared that even though you have a great income of $100,000, you're going to have to live a much more modest lifestyle through discipline, because that's what the results actually show. When you're living 40 plus years off of only working and saving 25 years, there are going to be sacrifices.
Yeah, it's so hard because we live in a society and a culture right now where wage and income is so worshipped, right? Like it's this idea that if I can just make more money, I can expand my lifestyle, I can do more things, I can have more freedom, I can fill in the blank. Well, if you're planning on doing FIRE, even if you are that person with a six-figure income, you cannot live like that. You have to have this aggressive savings rate of 35%, 40% just to get close to it. So you need to come to terms with it. Even though I'm making really great money, I cannot live like I'm making really great money if my goal is truly financial independence early for my portfolio to last me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and then that leads to also this choose your own adventure part. One of the things because like I said, it's a celebration that you can make six figures of income. I always think about the fact that if you do this lifestyle and you see, even if you save at a 40% rate, it's only going to get you right at the 50% mark of your living expenses, of your income for living expenses in retirement. There's a good chance you're probably going to you're going to squeeze on the family vacations, some of your decisions on family growth, on that first home purchase. All that stuff is going to be squeezed down. I just want to make sure that you watch that calibration between being great with money and discipline versus being a miser, because you just might miss some of the key life milestones with some of these decisions you'll have to make.
Now, I don't want to suggest that at a $50,000 income, FIRE is impossible, but the numbers certainly make it look difficult. When you get your income to $100,000, it may be possible, but it's still not easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's still going to require an extreme amount of discipline and the understanding that my life is not going to be super cush with a lot of margin for error. I have to be disciplined. I have to be budgeted both in my pre-retirement years and especially in my post-retirement years. So it can be done, but it's not super, super easy.